we are continuing our Martial Powers Monday. Give me a second here to find my signal, make sure it sounds clean. Find my signal, make sure it sounds clean. Sure does. Okay, cool. And now, if you, I'm going to just click a couple buttons. So if you could do the same, down like and subscribe is the first place to start, and then from there, going into, I got a link down below for my Twitter that I just posted to, so you can stay current with my ongoing shenanigans. And I also do a bunch of stuff on Discord, so I'm just bouncing through that signal real quick. But yeah, like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. There's a link down below in the description to some of the DMsGuild stuff that I've done that has recently been updated. All that stuff is 100% free preview, which kind of gives you an idea to take a look at how I conduct business in general. I'd rather you read the whole thing and realize that you really like the work that I do and then purchase it with eyes wide open than to take a guess at half of a document and whether or not you like it or not before actually proceeding on to utilize the content. So I'd rather go kind of in that reverse order. Like, if you like it, buy it. I'd love to have your support. There's a Patreon link down there as well. Which will, if you click on it, lead. You don't have to be a subscriber or anything in Patreon to access the content that I have here in this playtest. But if you do click on that link, it will take you to the Martial Powers open playtest content that we are currently looking at and are going to spend a little bit of time in here on the front end. I'm going to be working on some of the in my master document here. I've got kicking down here. I think is at the very end of the document. As you can see here, I got a lot more content here just free floating around. Let's see, time shift stuff, some Psionics hybrid options. That's the stuff that I'm playing with today. So, and then if we have more time, maybe we'll crack open an old 3E and 4E books and see if there's any fun stuff in there that we want to flesh this stuff out. But we're like around 150 powers that we've pulled from different subclass options, UAs, and previous editions to flesh out this content to make it be a thorough product that's worth your time exploring. But also, since last week, some further revelations that we had. I was having a problem with Hunter's Mark and favored enemies or favored foe, those three sort of sloppy mechanics in the Ranger that kind of all jumbled together. I haven't really been happy with any of the PH options, nor was I completely satisfied with the previous iterations that I had provided for it. So what I ended up doing was, at first level, swapping out the favored enemy and the favored foe, and then at the second level, getting rid of Hunter's Mark and combining that all into something we had seen previously for folks that have been keeping track, Mark of Prey. And but that's evolved. See, what did you that starting at first level, you can starting at first level, I had initially evolved it as like an object interaction sort of tapping mechanic, but and that was at second level when I realized, well, we can't really replace Hunter's Mark and keep to this spirit about favored enemy and favored foe if we're trying to wrap all these things together unless I have it available at level 1, which then created the problem of Rangers don't get mana at level 1. According to Player's Handbook, they don't get them until level 2, which is when Hornetico and some other good souls on Indestructible Boys, Design a Spear, and elsewhere were keen to point out that, you know, if I decided to go with mana options for all these classes starting at level 1, it kind of makes it fun. So that's what we decided to dive into. You can see here the changes that we made with Mark of Prey. Assuming, let's go back to the top of the dock and take a look at the Martial Power playtest content changes that we made to the Martial Powers progression table. Okay, so Artificers get access to spell casting at first level. And so we're just playing Artificer's game since Wizards of the Coast decided to go that route. That means that hybrid casters like Rangers and Paladins should also get access to spell casting at first level, which is kind of the gateway into all of this. So wouldn't that, if we're doing a universal spell point sort of system for all the classes now, wouldn't it make sense that all of them have access to spell points at first level as well? And it's like, well, what if your fighter doesn't want mana? It's like, well, great. If you go, okay, great. If you know you are going to want to do a martial power class right off the bat at first level, but you don't get access to it at the third level, it's like you're just waiting to get it. So if you know for a fact that you aren't taking a martial power class when you start your character at first level, then you can opt to not use this book. Why would you bother? Kind of the idea here is that you would be purchasing this and you'd be, well, I mean, you can look at the entire thing for free, so you don't even really have to purchase it. The reason why you'd be going to this document, we'll use that term going instead of buying or perusing, but yeah, if you're going to go to this document for character options, chances are that means right out the gate at level 1, you're thinking, I want to use mana with my character. What can you offer me? So that makes sense that we would have mana options available to all classes starting at first level, not just full classes, not just artificers, but also the other two hybrid classes, the Ranger and the Paladin, as well as the off-casters of Barbarian, Fighter, Rogue, also the Monk. These should all have access to mana right out the gate, first level. So that's what we assume. If you aren't interested in using this, just stick with the player's handbook like it is. You're not hurting my feelings. We're just offering you tools. What this also lets us do is bind the power curve back to the hybrid casting. Since you'll have access to powers at first level now, the same as the Artificer, that cleans up our table. So now we can go with the 1, 5, 9, 13, 17 progression that we already see for the Ranger and the Paladin, and it gives leg up a little bit to the subcasters, subclass casters, subcasters, or what we're referring to here as martial points or martial casters. So that's the basic mechanics. Martial casters start with 1 point at first level, which you regain on a long rest. The hybrid casters like Artificer, Ranger, Paladin, they start with 2 mana at first level. Everyone has the same power progression from 2 to 16. Everyone has the same power die progression from D6, D8, D10. Multi-classing still works the same for martial power, for power classes, which are Paladin, Ranger, and then all the subclasses, the Barbarian, the Fighter, the Monk, the Rogue, yeah, that's it. They all use the same scaling. They all multi-class into each other. So if you have a 6th level Fighter and a 7th level Rogue, then you're effectively a 13th level Power Channeler, which means that you would total the max rank. You would total your power die. You would total the amount of powers that you have, but you would split your pool. So you would have at 6th level, you'd have 6 mana from Fighter, and a 7th level Rogue, you'd have 7 mana. You would add those together to have a total of 13 mana in your pool, which coincidentally is the same as you'd have here. But if instead you would say gone 6 levels Fighter, 7 levels Paladin, then it would have been 6 levels from Fighter for 6 mana, then 7 levels of mana from Paladin is a total of 20 mana total. At 13th level, you can see that you have more than you would have had as a Fighter, but you would have had less than you would have had as a Paladin. But in either case, you're still getting a total of 12 powers. You're still able to channel up to 4 mana per power. You're still using a D8, even though you're only at 6th and 7th level for either of those classes. But the one caveat here is that you can't learn any powers higher than 2nd rank, because even though you can channel them at 4th level, none of the classes that you've progressed in have learned powers higher than 2nd level. So granted, you can dump additional mana into it up to 4 mana, even though it's only a 2nd rank power, most of these powers allow you to put into 4 mana, even though it's only a second rank power. So you're still getting the full economy of the full scaling, tier scaling that you would get, even though you're choosing to multi-class across multiple classes. You could dip Fighter 2, Barbarian 2, Rogue 2, and get up to 6th level, but you'd only be casting you'd only be using first rank powers in any of them, but you'd be able to put 2 mana into any of them that you got. Does that make sense? And if you're only gaining 2nd level in all 4 of those, or 3 of those classes, then you would end up with 2 from each, which would be a total of, at 8th level, 8 times divided by 4 is 2 each. Again, with the martial powers, it all pans out. We just looked at that. Full casters never gain any points, never gain any ranks in martial powers. They can't channel at all, but you can combine their spell points with yours. So, like, say you go 11 sorcerer and 9 paladin, for instance. The paladin's going to give you 18. You could have ended up with a total of 40 if you had gone all 20 levels in paladin. But let's say you braked on Paladin at 9th level, giving you 18 mana, and then you went 11 levels into Sorcerer. Let's jump over here to my spell point Sorcerer real quick, just so you guys can see how that's coming along, and just for the funsies. Looking at the spell point Sorcerer, this takes the mana progression of up to 80 points at 20th level that we have in the Universal Spell Points, which you can see in that link down below, my DMsGuild link. All this stuff is free for you to look at. This is still a work in progress, though. Sorcerer is still on the workbench. But I combined the 20 Sorcerer points with the 80 mana pool to give you up to 100 spell points at 20th level. I also combined all the spells that you can know with the meta magic that you can learn, so you could theoretically... let's see, total spells known is 20 at 20th level. You could theoretically know 1 spell, and then since I offer them 19 different meta magics, like if that's how you want to roll, like you're convinced, like all I want to do is cast, I don't know, Flame Bolt. The only spell I want to cast is Flame Bolt. So that's the only spell that I'm learning. And I'm going to learn 19 different meta magics to manipulate how that Flame Bolt spell works. Well, there's plenty of options here for you. I've got them. So whether costing 1 mana, 2 mana, 3 mana, up to 4 mana meta magics, but there are certainly 19 of them here for you to choose from. So you can choose 1 spell and then deck out the rest of meta magics if you want to, and just spend your mana that way. But the point is that an 11th level sorcerer would have a mana pool 51 mana, right? And then you go over here to the paladin, and you're looking at a 9th level paladin is 18, so that's going to be 69 points that you would end up with at 20th level. 69 points is obviously a lot more than what the paladin 20 would have had, but it's way less than what the sorcerer would have. So you would end up having 51? You'd end up having 69 spell points for you to cast. You've got a 6th level spell, which you could spend 6 points on once per day. And then the rest of them, you're going to have sorcerer spell slots or max spell casting is going to be up to 5th level to spend, after you spend the 6 points from the 69, that leave you with 63 points left. You have your high magic for 6 points. You have 63 points left that you can spend 5 points on casting up to 5th level spells as you would under normal universal spell point rules. Or you could take all those points, and since your paladin is 9th level, you could gain up to 3rd rank power. So you'd be splitting your powers. Your 5th rank, you could cast up to 5th level spells with a sorcerer, and you can channel up to 3rd rank powers with a paladin, and then you would have to juggle your pool between the two of them. So pretty fair. It's a good way to go with it, with a solution. It doesn't contradict anything else that's already exists, like in the 5-color mana spell point variant rules, which you can click into there and take a look at. All this stuff remains smooth and solid. So I'm really happy with how this is progressing. So a question that immediately pops up is like, hey, Kearney, you've only got you know 2 powers. Your 1st level, you can only channel 1st rank powers, and a fighter using your system only gains 1 spell point. Like, what the hell, dude? What are you going to do with 1 point of mana? Sustained powers. First level, take a sustained power. I mean, you could choose an exploit and gain 1 die roll. You could do that. But I would strongly recommend that at first and second level, you go with sustained powers. Just to revisit what sustained powers are. Going down here to the sustained powers. I mean, A, you could learn feats if you wanted and not spend the... Excuse me. I'm getting pingied. Let me drop the volume down on this so that I don't get pinged any further. Yes, you could learn feats, which is awesome. You can learn feats. But alternatively, you can learn sustained powers. So a first level sustained power, we have a bunch of them. Here's a bunch of stuff from the Blood Hunter, which we have gone over multiple streams. You can check down in the playlist below all these things that we've taken our time to chew through. Lycanthropy is a hell of a grab. I'm probably going to have to rebalance Lycanthropy because that's a big gain for just 1 mana. But it's cool. And so it's like 1 mana, that's not so useful because like if you lose concentration, you lose your 1. No, you lock it. You lock the thing. If you lock a sustained power, it stays active until someone could dispel it. But that's a 3rd level spell. And at first level, you're probably not going to be running across that, which basically means that unless you choose to drop that locked power, there's nothing. I mean, you don't have anything else to maintain concentration on at first level. You should do that. You maintain concentration, then you lock it so you don't have to maintain concentration anymore. You only get 1 spell point. You lock that spell point so that when you take your long rest, you can then release the power, and then you regain your power anyway because you're taking a long rest. And there's a slew of powers that you can take. Aside from all the stuff that we get from Blood Hunter, we got all these other things that we developed over time. We got the Blind Sense, we got Crouching Stance, Power Throw, Power Armor, Power Shield. It becomes a lot more useful in a few levels. Quick Assessment. I mean, all these things, these are all in the playtest document here for you to take a look at. So just take a look at them. At first level, which one of these, or which of the Blood Hunter sustained powers would you want to lock and have permanent on your character at level 1? And then so you get 2 powers. So you can pick 2 sustained powers, and then at level 2 you can swap them both out for something different as you gain more mana. But at first level, absolutely the most efficient way to go is to get a sustained power and lock it. That immediately sets the kind of character that you are. Like if you are, if you want to play a Lycanthrope, then you go with Lycanthropy. While you sustain this power, you can shift form into a Lycanthrope creature, gaining the below benefits. You get the Heightened Senses, you get the Feral Might, you get Thick Hide, and then when you lock it, which is, again, what I recommend, you can gain an unarmed attack that equals a power die, which is going to be a d6 plus either your strength or dexterity modifier, which is going to be either slashing or piercing damage. That's crazy efficiency. That's fun. Like if you wanted to play a shifter, fighter, and then take Lycanthropy as your first level, that's just super fun. Anyway, I geek out about it, and I hope you do too. So that's the quick skinny of where we're at. We're gonna hop over to the alpha document that I've got here for all the bits, and we're going to spend the rest of this session until 2 p.m. here in Seattle, which is about 52 minutes from now. Maybe less, depending if we get through them. But here's some hybrid options that we fished out of Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. Here's some time shift stuff that Hornetico and I had played with like maybe 7 or 8 streams back that you can go look at while he was punching in stuff into the chat channel. But top chat. Yeah, okay, we'll leave it like that. So, let's get into it. We're going to start here with the Psionics. Sustain, reaction, sustain, sustain. I'm going to fish out reaction. Oof, wow, that's all sustained stuff. And it's all sustained 1. Oh my god. That stuff is fantastic. Okay, great. So let's instead look at the reaction, which is Featherfall. Gain Featherfall as a spell. In addition, you can move 2 feet horizontal for every 1 foot you descend. Yeah, we'll just leave it like that. I'm pretty content with that. Cool. Cool. Let's get into sustain powers then. Manta Glide. You have ray-like fins that you grow ray-like fins that you can use as wings to slow your fall or allow you to glide. When you fall and aren't incapacitated, you can subtract up to 100 feet. You can subtract up to 100 feet from the fall, calculating falling damage, and you can move up to 2 feet horizontally for every 1 foot you descend. You can subtract up to 20 feet times max channel limit. So at 17th level, it will be 100 feet. At first level, it's 20 feet. There you go. And you can move up to 2 feet horizontally for each foot you descend. Easy enough. So we're going to go here to sustained 1. Drop it like that. These are supposed to have lock powers. Lock equals... You know what? I'm going to make that Manta Glide. I'm going to make that... I'm going to make that a reaction. And get rid of Feather Fall. Just go with Manta Glide. So that way I can get rid of that lock effect. Let's see. You have a climbing speed equal to your walking speed. That is a sustained power equals lock equals you don't need to use your hands. You can climb hands. You don't need to use your hands while climbing. That's useful. You can breathe air or water, and you have a swimming speed equal to your walking speed. Lock equals, thank you, another 20 minutes on the board. Lock equals your swimming speed is double your walking speed. That's easy enough. Grappling appendages. Well, that's a pretty damn good one. You sprout 2 appendages alongside your arms. Choose whether they're both claws or tentacles. These can be used to make attacks as part of your attack action, or instead, you can make an additional attack as a bonus action with one of them as a natural weapon, dealing 1 PD of blunt, piercing, or slashing damage, your choice. In addition, let's see, sprout 2 appendages. In addition, they can grapple creatures up to 1 size larger than you. In addition, you can grapple up to 4 targets while sustaining this power. That feels more like a 2, like a second rank power than a first rank power, because you're gaining the extra attack and you're gaining bonuses. So let's see. Sprout 2 appendages. Choose whether they're claw or tentacles. They can be used to make attacks as part of your attack action. Or instead, you can make an additional attack as a bonus action with one of them as part of the attack action. You can make an additional attack as a bonus action with one of them as a natural weapon. You can make an additional attack as a bonus action with them as a natural weapon, dealing 1 PD, BPS, grapple up to 4 targets while sustaining this power. So what are we gonna make? We're gonna make a lock out of that. That's a lot going on, but it's 2 mana, so I'm pretty hip with that. That probably means I'm gonna want to end up switching Lycanthropy to second rank because it's feeling kind of comparable. You're getting the or to hold additional items. Let's see. You an additional free object interaction each. Or you gain and you gain an additional free object interaction each round. Lock instead equals whoop, there we go. I'm happier with that. Much happier with that. So let's drop this down to the end of the list. Acid Spit. As a bonus action, you can spray acid from glands in your mouth, targeting 1 creature or object you can see within 30 feet of you. The target takes 1 PD per mana. On lock, instead of targeting 1 creature or object, the acid is a spray, targeting in a 5 foot per mana spent cone. I'm pretty good with that. Let's see. You grow glands in your mouth which, as a bonus action, which, comma, which is a bonus action, you can spray, you grow acid glands in your mouth, comma, which as a bonus action you can spray, comma, targeting 1 creature or object you can see within 30 feet of you. The target takes 1 PD per mana. If you lock it, instead of targeting 1 creature or object, the acid is a spray targeting all creatures. Spray affecting all within a 5 foot mana cone. I'm good with that. And then grappling appendages. Second rank. And we just went through that. Cool. And there may be Krasis stuff to look at. So let's go to back to the top. Let's go to game source content. Go to GGTR. And let's go find the Krasis. Krasis, yo. Bestiary. Cray. H-I-J-K, hybrid, hybrid, hybrid. Let's go find the H's. Spectre, Gloamwing, Crisis, H-I-J-K. So let's see if there's hybrids down here. F, is that H-I, is it stuff? Or is that Yeards? Crises. Creating the crises. Crisis. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. What is this stuff? Stabilizing legs. The creature has several cloud-like legs. As a result, it has advantage on strength and dex save throws made against effects that would knock it prone. Ink Cloud. Heightened awareness. Change color. Climbing speed. Aquatic. Amorphous structure. I don't think I need to include these things right now. I think it would be fun is to build a little, like guild books. Like this would be fun stuff to put into like Simic powers, and then like Boros powers and Zet powers, and like just build out power books with separate stuff. Then I can just troll the hell out of MTG cards and just find stuff to build into powers. Actually, that seems like a lot more fun thing to do. So I think I'm gonna let this sit where it's at for now, and instead, let's get into the time shift stuff. Let's just push through that thing. So let's see. We got exploits and maneuvers. Exploits, maneuvers, reactions. Exploit 3. Oof, time stop 5, huh? I remember that. Alright, well, we'll figure it out. We don't have anything that's 5th rank currently, so we'll probably have to scale that back, because I don't want to just break into a whole new tier. Time Strike, when you use the attack action, you can forgo any number of attacks up to your max power rank. Oh, that sounds like an exploit. Oh, I see. It's trying to be put in as a sustained effect. We'll see if that stands. We'll see if that stands. Exploit. Back up here to exploits. What is this, a maneuver? No, it was a reaction. Oof, man, high power reactions going on down here. That's the end of the document. Okay, cool. So let's see what we got going on here. Time space bubble. Exploit. When you move, one ally per mana within 30 feet can use a reaction to also move up to their movement speed. I'm pretty sure that we've already got an exploit that's almost identical to that. Let's go up and find out. Am I in? There we go. Ambush. Period, yo. One space, yo. Charge. Commanding presence. Insight, arson, gunfighting, natural regular, natural hunter, possible attacks, resilience, seasonal, with tools, tactical assessment, unnerving. Cooperative effort. When you use a help action, grant ability, ally within 30 feet, you add one power die per mana channeled to the ally's die roll. That's freaking sweet. Fast feet. Dash action, ideal save, phase attack, protect attack, skill prowess, swift movement, saving grace. Yeah, okay. So we can go down here and we can go with time to move. Nice. When you move, comma, any number of allies. Move up to 10 feet. When you move, a creature you can see can use their reaction to move up to 10 feet. See, that's that exploit. It doesn't even require you to use any action economy beyond just you moving. So you move, you spend a point, someone within 30 feet, a creature you can see within 30 feet. Let's do that. A creature you can see within 30 feet can use their reaction when you move, you can choose a creature you can see within 30 feet. When you move, during your turn, one creature you can choose one creature that you can see. You can choose one creature that you can see within 30 feet. Within 30 feet of you. You can see within 30 feet. When you move during your turn, you can choose one creature that you can see within 30 feet. Choose one creature that you can see within 3 feet to use. You can choose one creature that you can see within 30 feet to use their reaction to move up to 15 feet. That's what we'll do. Up to 15 feet. That feels good. Okay, cool. And then accelerate. Let's go with let's instead call it move as one. Choose a creature. Choose a creature that you can see within 30 feet to use their reaction to move up to 15 feet. Accelerate. During your movement, you double your move speed and don't provoke opportunity attacks. Yeah, I'm good with that. Third level, hyper opportunity. When you make an opportunity attack, you can attack twice. Make an opportunity attack, you can attack twice. I'm good with it being 3 mana. That's expensive, and it's an opportunity attack, but it's not a reaction. It could probably be framed as, maybe it should be framed as a reaction. Let's go look at reactions and see if we have one already that allows a double strikes. Okay, no reactions exist. Ching-ching. Let's go look at exploits and see if there's something that's already interacting this way that we need to pay attention to. That will determine if it's necessary or not. Empowered shot, extended attack, fire shot, flash of insight, gifted, ground, inquisitive, master burglar, natural hunter, proselytize, resident, swift tools, tactical, unnerving, better, cooperative efforts. When you use the help, okay, great, fast feet. Save, phase attack. Let's look at that. Hold on, fast feet. Don't provoke OA. As part of the same action. And that's 2 mana. So accelerate being 1 mana is too inexpensive. So we're just going to drop that. We don't need that. Still looking at hyper opportunity. Deal safe, phase attack, precise attack, skill prowess, swift attunement, saving grace. Those are exploits. There was no reaction. There is a strike though. We do have a strike. We have bonus attack and goad, swift, pack, restraining, TK, double strike. Make 2 weapon attacks with advantage, and that's a strike? That's a maneuver. Maneuver 2? Double strike 3. Make 2 weapon attacks with advantage. Hypertunistic. Sure, let's go with that. Hypertonicity. Hypertonistic. I think that's fun. Period. Attack the same creature twice. That's good. I'm good with those as exploits. That feels cool. Maneuver. First rank maneuver. 1 mana. Slow time. Target creature charisma saves or loses 1 reaction, 2 movement, 3 bonus action, 4 action until succeeds saves. Boy, oh boy. That is clumsy AF. How can we make that less clumsy? We already have Shocking Grasp, which gets rid of reactions. Let's see, slow time. I kind of like what it's doing. Oh, I see. It was supposed to be 1 to 4. If it's 1 mana, it loses a reaction. If it's 2 mana, it also loses its movement. 3 also loses a bonus action, and 4 loses all actions until it succeeds a saving throw. That's interesting. Let's see what paralysis does. The paralyzing strike. So let's see what that guy is all about. Excuse me. Stunning strike. It's 2 mana. Paralyzing strike is 4. Considerably less value there. But it's a maneuver though. Because a maneuver can be either use a standard action or it can use a bonus action. Most people are going to want to use the bonus action to force the cost save. Yeah, they aren't stunned, they aren't paralyzed, they just lose the actions. So... Let's go, what are we going to call that? see, inactive. Let's go back and take a look at anything here. As a reaction to when a creature you can see within 30 feet, it makes an ability check, attack, roll, a saving throw. You can curse them to roll at disadvantage, block. Parry, riposte, burying, moving targets. As a reaction to when a creature you can see moves while within reach of your melee attack, you can make an opportunity attack. You can make an opportunity attack even if the target is moving. Is using a disengage action. As a reaction, when a creature you can see meticulous effort, right foot, interpose, intercept, feint, evasive footwork, deflection, controlled fall. And you can ignore the prone condition. So that's controlled fall. Versus sustained. I like this stuff, but I think I think I'm just gonna leave this. I think I'm gonna leave the hybrid stuff out of the original document because I'm really liking this Simic powers idea. Building out a Simic book. Gonna have to go with that. So Simic's gonna have to sit to the side for now. That's part of the decision process that we build stuff. So say la vie. Gotta cut where you gotta cut. Just because I can add it doesn't mean it needs to be added. That's called scope bloat. was this again? Lost track of where I was going. Ooh, hypertonistic. That's right. The opportunity attack make attacked twice. Got it. Creature you can see to reduce the result of its ability checks, concentration checks by 1 PD. Roll ability checks and concentration checks with disadvantage. That feels better. Curse Eyeless, Flicker Pounce, Sleeper Hold, Double Strike. Hold, Double Strike is make 2 weapon attacks with advantage. That is a maneuver. Okay. Rally. Swift Resuscitation. Overrun Recuperation. Number of hit dice up to your next channel limit. It's clumsy wording, we'll go with it for now. Repelling Shockwave, Telekinetic, Vanishing Goad. Okay, let's go down into the exploits real quick just to see if there's anything to see. Sing Grace, Prowess, Rise Range, Precise Attack. Nope, that stands. Cool. So move as 1, hypertunistic. When you make an opportunity attack, you can attack the same creature twice. Cool. We had distract, lethargy, inactivity. Let's call it inaction. Let's time stop. You briefly stop the flow of time for everyone but yourself. No time passes for other creatures while you take 1d4 turns in a row, during which you can use actions and move. You can use actions and move as normal. Briefly stop. Hey, let's keep going. We're almost done here for today. Time stop, You briefly stop the flow of time for everyone but yourself. No time passes for other creatures while you take d4 plus 1 turns in a row, during which you can use actions. Time stop. You briefly stop the flow of time. Everyone but yourself. No time passes for other creatures while you take d4 plus 1 turns in a row. We'll let that sit for now. As a reaction to a creature moving within 30 feet, wisdom save or moves their full speed in the direction of your choice. If successful, they move 5 feet further than intended in the direction of your choice. As a reaction to making a saving throw within the area of effect from a source you can see, you can move half your movement speed in any direction. If you escape the area of effect and succeed the save, you aren't affected. And then reactive future, period. It's interesting. As a reaction to making a saving throw within the area of effect from a source you can see, you can move half your movement speed in any direction. If you escape the area of effect and succeed the save, you aren't affected. Period. Bop bop. I dig that overstep and reactive future. As a reaction to becoming incapacitated, you can take an action before the condition affects you. Doing so I'm good with reactive future. Delayed blast. As a reaction to making a saving throw within the area of effect. Area of effect. From a source you can see. You can move half your movement speed in any direction. If doing so places you outside the area of effect and you succeed the saving throw, you aren't affected. Oof. I can see a lot of caveats where that language is going to get really, really weird, so I'm going to have to drop that. Yeah, it's just there's too much wonkiness involved with movement. Like if the spell is entangle and it covers an area, and you get the opportunity to move, but you fail to save, so you're outside the area of effect, but you're still entangled. That's wonky. It's too wonky. 5e doesn't allow for that Schrodinger state, so we gotta drop it for the sake of simplicity. Plus, we got plenty of reactions. Reactive feature is a reaction to becoming incapacitated. You can make a reaction. You can take a reaction before the condition affects you. Doing so stuns you next turn. What's a 4th rank power? Okay, so a 4th rank power requires 13 levels to gain access to. If you wanted to do something like Arcane Gate or Dimension Door, well, you can't do Arcane Gate. That's a 5th level spell, so that's unavailable. It's a 13th level, max of 7. Yeah, you could do Dimension Door to bounce out of there, but Dim Door is going to stun you anyway. Misty Step is going to allow you It's a bonus action, so it doesn't count. Yeah, I think I'm pretty good with that. Cool. And then, geez, okay, sustained. Okay, so I'm good with those reactions. So sustained, 3. Time Strike. When you use the attack action up to your max power rank and use them at a later time as a reaction. Ooh, interesting. Call it use the this is a sustained effect, huh? When you use the attack action, you can forgo any number of attacks up to your max power rank. And no, it's just there's too much difficulty there. I'm gonna drop that. It's like it gets real mealy. Indestructible has been building a Vanguard class that manipulates action economy and pushes it into reaction. Obviously, this was created months ago before that Vanguard conversation cropped up. But since that Vanguard conversation did crop up, there has been a ton of discourse on the Indestructisphere, Designosphere that Indestructible has on his Discord. And it takes a lot of word salad to make distributing actions from your normal action economy into reaction economy. There's a lot of machination that goes into it to make it work. And there's too much machination to make it just a trite statement here as like a 3-line thing as a power. There's too many, pardon the pun, there's too many moving parts for you to treat it so offhand, which is a major complaint that I have about things like critical roles, different casting options, spell options, class features. It's handled very, very minimalistically without really taking into account all the repercussions of what these class options could be. So anyway, not a big fan of creating new mechanics that are self-contained within 2 or 3 lines. Like all these action economies, reactions, these boosts, these exploits and stuff. They're obviously exploring new ground as well. But there's also pages of mechanics that explain how does an exploit work. And then once you understand how exploits work, here's a list of all the exploits that are available, which is actually worth considering. Having the actual mechanics, like have exploits be a chapter, have maneuvers be a chapter, have strikes be a chapter, have sustained powers be a chapter, and then explain how that discipline of power works, and then have all the optional powers that fall within that discipline be listed. So it'd be like exploit. Here's how exploits work. Here's all the exploits. Next, here's how maneuvers work. Here's all the maneuvers. That actually might be a better way of going about it than the way that I currently have it, which is here's all the shit you can do. Like here's all the things. Here's how to do all this stuff in this book, and then after that is the list. Actually breaking it up differently like that, I may end up doing that. That may be the right way to go. I'm going to we'll do that. We'll play with that when we get into the layouts of this book. We'll see. Because we're going to come back and we're going to do layouts on here too. Once we're done with the actual text of this, and after we hand it off to the writer, and then the editor chews through it, and then the playtest is over, we bring it back, and then we drop it into the page layouts and get that cleaned up, and then we can see how things structure out. So exploits are good, reactions are good, sustained, alter reality. When a creature within 30 feet makes an attack or ability score, while sustaining this power, when a creature you can see within 30 feet makes an attack or ability check, you can force them to reroll and take the worst result. You can burn 1 mana to force them to reroll and take the worst result. while sustaining this power, when a creature you can see within 30 feet makes an attack or ability check, you can burn 1 mana to force them to reroll and take the worst result. Creature you can see. Lock equals, you can, let's do this. You can burn up to 4 mana, forcing up to 4 rerolls. You can burn up to 4 mana, forcing 1 reroll for each mana spent, taking the worst result. That's sick. Ultra reality. I love that. I am super happy with that. That's a keeper. Now we're going to get rid of that. We'll go with hyper alacrity. Let's define alacrity. Brisk, cheerful readiness. Hyperactivity. You briefly stop the flow of time. You briefly accelerate time. Briefly accelerate time around you, gaining an additional turn immediately after the current turn ends. And that is... yeah, I'm good with that being a maneuver. It could be an exploit, but Action Surge is pretty much an exploit. And... nah, I'm going to leave that out. Hyperactivity, I'm going to drop hyperactivity. That feels like a 5th level something to do, but I don't want to grant 5th level things. So we're going to dismiss this. Hey, it's time for us to go. That's today. So we're going to drop this stuff. We're going to drop the time shift stuff and the Simic hybrid stuff that survived. Yeah, we're going to drop the Simic stuff. We're going to take this time shift stuff and just drop it into the document and let it exist. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's going to be 8 additional powers that we're now adding to the document. So let's do that. And then we will bring this day to an end. So go back to the exploits here. Is that how it goes? No. And hyperactivity. That is an exploit. So you use your reaction and you spend 3 points on hypertonistic, and then you can spend further actions during your attacks to like make strikes or whatever. So that's how the system works. Let's just dump a crap ton of mana into things. Let's go then to here and grab some maneuvers. Go with 2 as lethargy. 3 will be inactive. Reactions. Overstep. React to the future. Reaction to becoming incapacitated, you can take an action. Blah. Noise. And then last thing is alter reality. 4th global sustain power. 4th rank sustain. 4th rank sustain. Sustain, 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 sustain. Stain, 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 stain. Obadiah stain. Stain, 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 stain. There we go. And again, we're going to leave the Cynic stuff out. I'll just reach to the top. All right, cool. So that's updated into the document. All this stuff is current. Let's go down here to the bottom of our checklist. Let's see what else we have on our roster to do. Let's see. Tink and Psionic powers are done. We wanted to look at disrupt and dismiss language to clean up that aspect of resolving concentration. So we'll be back. We can actually push this down. Cleaning up class language. Resolve, review, power balance. Cool. Okay, so that means next week we're going to come back and we are going to work on Artificer subclasses. Just going through them like Battlesmith, for instance. What do we want to do with Battlesmith regarding martial powers, for instance, if anything? Because Artificer, out of the box, doesn't have access to martial powers unless they are spending item attunements to build them out. So we're going to continue looking at Artificers to see if there's anything specific we want to do to incorporate martial powers into the Artificer, but No, we don't want. We built it so that Artificers and full casters don't make use of martial powers unless they're doing unless they're doing imbuing items that allow them to then use spell points as though they were martial powers. So then that means we get to come back and we get to DM use for martial powers, paradigms of power. We're getting close. Holy crap, we're getting close. So we're going to come back next week and we're going to look at power gear in general, how to build out power gear above and beyond what has already been provided to us through the Artificer's item attunement or imbuing items with martial powers, so we can use that as a basic framework for us to then loop back around and then start building these things out for what is it? Common, uncommon, rare, very rare, and legendary. Those are the 5 ranks. Those are the 5 tiers of power. We should be able to come back and build out power gear pretty easily. So I'm really looking forward to that. Oh, I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, cool. So we're going to do magic items next week when we come back. And then we're going to, like it says here, how DMs can use martial powers against characters as lair actions, as legendary actions, as legendary reactions to make what's good for the goose to the gander. Wow, man, we could be done with the with this first pass. We could be done with the first pass here by as soon as September. So we may be handing this off to a writer to clean up and an editor to match through and get it back to us before end of year. Oh my God, I've got the Eberron Adventure, I've got In Command, and now I've got Martial Powers. All 3 of these books are stacking up to require to be requesting attention from us to do layouts and illustrations beginning quite possibly in November. So I'm getting really stacked up here. I'm probably going to end up putting this on the back burner and try to maybe run a small campaign to have people using these things just to make sure that people outside of my normal lunchtime adventure team are making use of it to make sure that, well, we just got more eyes that are exploiting this stuff. And that'll give me a chance to do some more DMing stuff on the weekend for playtesters that are interested. So anyway. I'm going to cut stream here. Like, subscribe, check out my books on DMsGuild. Check out this playtest content that's on the Patreon. You don't have to be a patron to access it. Just click on the link and then follow through to here. Follow me on Twitter. If you see me on Discord, say hey. We might be back later on tonight doing map work for the Eberron adventure. We've got some folks that are willing to DM it as playtest content, to do some playtest DMing to make sure that what we say in the adventure is actually making sense to them. So me and Andy, we're going to do some cleanup on that later on tonight. I will then follow up with mapping, hand it off to the DM crews. I've got 3 folks that are willing to DM it, so that's hopefully going to get us some really good feedback to keep moving forward with that. Stuart Braz is already giving us some interesting feedback on how to restructure it so we can have multiple hooks inside of the adventure while not creating confusion inside the actual document itself, which is super smart. In Command is coming along really nicely. We are currently doing vehicle combat in Descent into Avernus, and that vehicle combat, we've got Spelljammer that's coming out next month. So it may well be that we're going to just peel out the vehicle and structure content from In Command, and then just make that a separate product to release and to launch. That will help keep things simple for folks using In Command. It works like if you put a squad on a vehicle, you can command book the squad as well as piloting the vehicle, but piloting the vehicle doesn't require use of In Command directly. Its mechanics are self-contained, which is honestly pretty damn valuable. So we'll probably just build that out as In Command of vehicles and structures, and then have that for boats, infernal war machines, as well as Spelljammer ships, and have that all built into just one succinct product. That will be the first companion piece to the In Command system that we build, In Command of guilds, In Command's armies, guilds, and kingdoms. And then we'll have In Command of vehicles. Yeah, so this is all parsing out really, really well. I'm excited, man. We got a lot of really cool stuff on the horizon. Like, subscribe, follow, check out the books. Catch me on Patreon. Catch me on Twitter. Love having you here. Drop me a line in the comments, and we'll see you guys on the other side.